sweet, the sunshine and the rain, a matchless love far greater than the heartaches and the pain. The children are all gone from us, yet we are not alone, for they are just as close, you know. Each day now brings us closer to our God that dwells above. What better way can we celebrate a life than through stories and sharing and remembrances? Some of those will bring us tears and others will bring us laughter, and that is the way forward as we seek to embody the resurrection as we understand it. That Fran is with us, and we are the witnesses to her life. We're going to spend some time now in remembrances and shared story, and I invite Tony to get us started, and then we will hear from Kimber, and I'm going to make some opportunities after that for some of you who may have stories to also give testimony.
When I was around 3, I remember being in her arms and noticing a hurried pace. I sensed there was peril, but I was aware that I was in good hands. When I asked her about it years later, she said, I was holding the belief that we were being followed, and in that moment, I would have done anything to protect you. I love you that much. Protection. When I was around 6, I remember flying by myself for the first time. And as I was being escorted to the plane by the flight attendant, I remember looking back and seeing her gift me with this energy of confidence that everything was going to be all right, and certainty that she would be there when I got back. Individuation, she was gifting me with that freedom. Fast forward a few years, and I remember being around 9. And one day, there was a Bermuda Triangle perfect storm moment where I had, 1, tried to boil hot dogs in a pot, but I didn't know you put water in a pot when you boil it. So I almost burned the house down. And as she was just walking into this, she shared she had an experience, and later she said, somebody who was in need of a tan diminished my humanity for having a tan. And those labels evolved into the present day into lighter and higher shades of brown. People of lighter shade of brown and the people of a higher shade of brown. So you have the fire, and you have her experience, and then number 3 in the Bermuda Triangle that day was I had behaved in a way that was less than wonderful for her by practicing my pitching against a pillow. Practicing my pitching would be cool, but I had put the pillow up against a sliding glass door, and on the 10th throw, I missed the pillow and shattered the glass. Fire, higher shade of brown, broken glass. We had a living room that went into the kitchen on both sides. So it was kind of a circle. And many of you never saw this side, and I may have only seen it once, but she was peeved, and it was time to the races. And we went around a circle and around, and we were running, and I was 9, and I was like, what is going on? And Benny Hill music and slow motion and speeding up. And all of a sudden we were on the floor laughing. That was the pattern interrupt. It was too ridiculous to stay in that state. That's around the same time that she did something I hold to believe was brilliant. She would exhaust my rambunctious energy by roughhousing with me. I don't know if many of you knew this, but before she was a PhD in psychology, she was a physical therapist. So she knew how to pin me down, and I would struggle, and all of my energy would be depleted within 10 minutes. She was a genius. And then that one day when I was around 10, and the power shifted. And as I knocked her back, and she clutched her stomach out of breath, she looked at me, and we both knew, that was the last time we would ever wrestle. And as sad as that moment was, there was joy in the dynamic that was my rite of passage. The boy was becoming a young man. That was also around the time when we had Jefferson's night, where we would stand in front of the TV, I would hold her hand, and as the theme song to the Jeffersons would come on, we would dance and we would sing. We would start going, and then halfway through, she would sit down and she would let me take over. And I would say, now we're up in the big leagues, getting our turn at bat. As long as we live, and I would point at her, it's you and me, baby. And she would finish, ain't nothing wrong with that. After the show was over, she would always look at me. She called me her Montessori Methodist. She said, you're a Montessori Methodist, which means you can do anything. Do you want to be a performer? Do you want to be an actor? Do you want to be a Major League Baseball player? And the only reason she said that was because of the theme song of the Jeffersons. Or do you want to be a psychologist like me? I realized it was secret option number 4. All of the above. Now that I'm an empathy coach teaching nonviolent communication, it is all of the above. Recently, we had Saturday night phone night. 9 o'clock on Saturday. Every Saturday we would talk. I said, I love you. And we would end with the phrase, hey do, which is, as my dad knows, Swedish for farewell. One of our recent Saturday night conversations, we talked about one of the musical poems that I had crafted, and there was a line that said, how to stay present, reminiscing in the past. How to do the now, remembering the last. And it was about how do you stay present in those past moments. And we talked about transitioning, which I'm so grateful for now. She didn't know my beliefs and I didn't really know hers, but I said, I'm really grateful that you taught me that loss was imaginary, that it was illusory, like water, that liquid, solid, vapor, that it's the circle of life, that nothing disappears in the universe, that it only changes form. And she kind of chuckled and she said, I love that, and I'm grateful you think I said that, but I think it's one of your Tony Robbins, Deepak Chopra, Eckhart Tolle, Wayne Dyer people saying that. And I realized in that moment, I held her in the same space of the mentors that I hold so dearly, which was unbelievable for me. So grateful for that. So I speak of her leaving her earth suit, and that nothing disappears in the universe, it only changes form. For me, that's just how I hold it. And I guess lastly, I want to extend a gratitude for your attendance today and for your attendance in her life. My best friend from elementary school is here. My best friend from high school is here. My best friend from college is here. Some of my best friends throughout the years are here. Her favorite choirs, her favorite people are here. The man who gifted me with life is here. My sisters are here. Her husband is here. People I just met for the first time yesterday are here. So, if part of the measure of a person is reflected by the energy of those they had the privilege to come into contact with, then the ethos in this room right now is a gift in relation to the zeitgeist of her life. And as I invite all of you to let go of the past, let go of the future, be present in this moment and live in the now, one more time I'm going to say, I love you, Mom. Thanks for the protection. Thanks for the individuation. Hey, no.